Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, I would like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who helps ambitious women plan for a balanced life and business using my CEO strategy and master plan systems. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave some links down below in the description of this video where you can check out more of my work online, and feel free to check out my latest planning resources, tools, classes, courses, and more over at thecharmshop.com. So today I want to talk to you about 5 planner mistakes to avoid. So these are very common issues that I actually see a lot of people making with their planning, and I think these are easy enough things to actually watch out for and prevent if you know about them. And maybe if you're someone who struggles with some of these, I think having this reminder will, kind of help you to motivate yourself to avoid making these planning mistakes in the future. Now, I'm definitely someone who does not believe that your planning needs to be perfect to be effective, because the purpose of planning for me is to help you to have a sense of control and satisfaction with your life so that you're creating a life that you love and is your best life ever. So my vision of planning, it has much less to do with actually being productive and efficient as it does with helping you to actually create your dream life. So if you're making any of these mistakes, do not feel bad. Your planning does not need to be perfect. Your planner does not need to be perfect, but it's always good to see what you might need to watch out for. So let me talk to you about those 5 common planning mistakes that you may want to avoid. So mistake number 1 is thinking that your planner is a scrapbook or a journal. Now, by all means, I totally believe that you can repurpose a planner to be a scrapbook or be a journal where you're going to be able to actually do memory keeping and do things like working through your mindset and your thoughts and your feelings and all that great stuff. I do believe you can use a planner and repurpose it for those reasons, but I know that there's a lot of confusion out there in the planning community because so many people do these beautiful, pretty planning spreads where there's far less planning being done in a spread and much more memory keeping being done. I know that that's confusing for people. So I want to kind of lay down here an expectation that if you're trying to plan in your planner, right, you want to actually be someone who is getting more of the important tasks done and able to manage different areas of your life seamlessly, right, through the use of a planner. That is not scrapbooking. That is not journaling. And it's very important that we do not make the mistake of thinking that in order to plan, you need to be memory keeping or that you should be journaling in some way in your planner. That is not the same thing as actually planning. Now, mistake number 2 that you're going to want to avoid is failing to check or use your planner. This is so common when we get started using a planner system that we actually forget to use it, or we sit down and we make a great plan for the week or the day and then we forget to check it. Now, this really comes down to not having a good routine in place. And so if this is something you struggle with, one of my first things that I recommend doing is making sure that you leave your planner out and open somewhere you're going to definitely see it throughout the day or in your workspace, right? So that you're definitely going to be faced with this planner and reminded that you should be planning in it and reminded that you should be checking it for tasks. Likewise, as you're working, it's a great idea to keep your planner open in sight to a page that has your action list on it and your schedule for the day. However you do your planning, just make sure that you've got those tasks visible so that it's harder for you to be interrupted by new tasks that pop up that may, take you off the path of working on what your plan was, right? So we want to make sure we leave our planners out so we can see them while we're working. And also, if you need to be reminded to actually have a time to plan, think about when your best time to plan would be. Usually this is in the morning sometime before you get to work, and set a little alarm on your phone as a reminder to plan, right? And just set yourself 15 minutes every day in the morning at the same time, if that's what works for you, and just have that reoccurring reminder so that you're able to develop the planning routine, right? So I have plenty of videos on my channel about how to actually plan your weeks, your days, your months, etc. So there's lots of different resources for you to go look into if you need to know how to plan better. But just for establishing that habit and making it part of your routine, I hope those tips help you. Now, common mistake number 3 is using too few inserts for your needs. And this is a super common issue because a lot of people in the community use the pre-made or bound planner inserts, right? So we're either using a bound planner that only comes with like a monthly and a weekly and maybe some note pages, or we're buying a planner, from a place like KikiK or Filofax, and we're just using those sort of default inserts that come with it, or we're ordering a pack of inserts that are just sort of calendar inserts. Now, as far as the way I like to approach my planning in order to make sure that it's as holistic as possible and it's integrating all of my goals and the different areas of my life, it's really important for me to have different inserts that will help me to organize areas of my life in different ways as they might need to be organized. So I definitely want to encourage you to make sure that if you're having a problem with your planner, right, or you don't feel like your inserts are as functional for you, don't hesitate to look and see what other supplemental inserts you'll be able to use. Now, obviously, if you're using a bound planner, this isn't going to be possible, right? Which is one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of bound planners. I'm much more a fan of having a customized system like a 6-ring binder or a disc bound, which is what I use currently, is a disc bound planner, because it gives me the ability to add and remove inserts as I need and to really be able to have visibility to everything in my life I've got going on in one planner, which is so essential. So if you're struggling to make a bound planner work for you, consider making a switch. It doesn't have to be expensive. Disc bound is a very affordable option. And I will leave you a link down in the description to a video I made all about disc bound systems to help you get introduced to those if you need to figure out where to get started. But yes, using too few inserts for your needs, that's a big common issue I see a lot of people making. Now, planner mistake number 4, okay, is writing down too many tasks for a day. So if you're the kind of person who goes to your planner and just brain dumps an entire list of to-dos for the day and just starts working off of that, you may find a few situations that happen to you. Number one, looking at that entire list may just immediately make you overwhelmed and get you worried and make you hesitant to take action on anything, right? Next issue that comes up with that is that if you have just a list that's not really prioritized, you haven't said what your top 3 is, you haven't said what are the most important things that need to be done, then usually what ends up happening is, it's just human nature. We look at that list and we say, okay, what's the easiest thing I can work on right now, right? What's the least scary thing? Like, what's the thing that'll make me I can just do it real quick and I'm not worried about it, etc., right? So we end up, when we work off of a list like that, choosing tasks that are usually not really high priority. And then what ends up happening is we continue to choose tasks that just make us feel like, okay, I want to work on that next. We're not thinking about it strategically, what needs to be done, what's going to move the needle, what's going to make, progress in our day. We're thinking about what makes us feel good when we're looking at a list like that. What's the easiest thing for us to work on? What's the quickest? What feels like a quick win? And that's one of the dangers of just working off of a to-do list is that writing things down and just picking things willy-nilly based on your feelings can actually put you in a situation where you are not being as strategic as you should be in executing on your day. And then what ends up happening is you had a planner, you had a plan per se, but it didn't work out for you. And so then you're not really feeling confident in planning in general, right? So that is another major common planning mistake that people make. And planning mistake number 5 is planning without pre-planning. Now, I know that sounds a little bit convoluted, right? But what I mean by that is that so few people actually take time to think about and get strategic about their plans before they start writing them in your planner. So let's just say that you're the kind of person, you in the morning, you sit down to do your planning and you just you just open your spread and just start writing things in, right? But you haven't taken some time to think strategically about what needs to be done first, what things absolutely need to be done today, when due dates are, and what things, if you didn't get them done today, it wouldn't be the end of the world. You can push them off to another day and it's okay, it's safe for you not to prioritize them, right? And we also don't think about things like batching our tasks, right? Making sure that we're doing like tasks together. All of these sorts of strategies help to minimize decision fatigue when we're actually executing on our to-do list and our plan for the day. So doing a little bit of pre-planning is an essential part of having a successful and strategic plan. And so when you fail to do that pre-planning and just start filling in your planner, sometimes you'll see that you make mistakes, right? And you're like, oh, I actually have to X this out. This wasn't as important, or things need to be changed because you weren't sitting down and pre-planning first and giving it a little bit of forethought. So that is the 5th planner mistake that I see a lot of people make, and hopefully you can avoid it now that I have given you this list of 5 common planner mistakes. I definitely want to hear from you which of these mistakes you make and where you might need some additional resources. I'll try to link some resources down in the description for you to make some of these solutions easier and more accessible for you, but definitely let me know what you guys are struggling with so that I know what resources to create for you or link for you in the future. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with anyone you think will find it helpful. For more of the behind the scenes of my productivity life and business, make sure you're following me on Instagram at MissTrenchcoat. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. Until next time, bye-bye.